Hello, my name is Eldris, and I head up the Royal PR team here in Wayrest. Recently, you may have noticed several changes within our quaint little kingdom, and the king asked me to help explain and ease any questions or concerns you might have. First of all, any talk of the king's erratic behavior the last few weeks is over-exaggerated. The king was served some old mushrooms and had a bad reaction. In the meantime, you'll notice that we have a new royal chef now. We talked and all decided it was time for the old one to retire, and he's decided to move up north to the same farm your goldfish did when you were a kid. We also asked that if you think you see any shallow graves to the north of the city that you leave them alone. You know, necromancy and such. Which brings me to our next concern. You may have seen the architectural brilliance of our artists and crafters displayed in our new guillotine being constructed in the town square. The king wants to assure you his primary goal with constructing it was a symbol of our manufacturing might. With the project complete, he believes it will not only open up new tourist opportunities, but an increased demand for the ancient Breton craftsmanship, opening up potential trade deals with other kingdoms eager to reduce their incarcerated population. Overall, our economy has never been positioned better thanks to the king's lead. Now, with a greater economy comes a greater risk of crime. And the king wants to assure each of you that we have established complex guard patrols designed to make sure every inch of our proud kingdom is covered at some point during the day. We would also like to remind you again to please leave your soap and old teeth at home unless you just absolutely need to carry them with you. We believe this will help reduce thefts by 78% as the adventuring community clamors to get their hands on more of these trinkets. I know some of you are worried with the newly created covenant between ourselves and the Red Guards and Orcs. Our history with both factions understandably has created some concerns as to the strength of our new covenant. However, I can assure you our intentions are to only use them to gain power over Cyrodiil, setting up the king for further domination over all of Tamriel. As soon as he's seated on the Ruby Throne, we already have military campaigns in place to conquer both. That's right, many of you are worried about being in one of those pesky times of peace. And the king is assured that none of you will live to see a day we aren't involved in some form of conflict. We've talked through and answered the burning questions within the kingdom. But let's shift and celebrate what's been going right amongst these hallowed hills and valleys. Those of you in more rural areas may already be seeing the fruits of our environmental conservation efforts. Take, for instance, this small farm behind me, teeming with new wildlife. And speaking of farms, I remember when I first started at the castle, farmers were having to settle for puny fireplaces to fight back the chill of the night. Now, they're doing so well they've decided to burn entire buildings. You just need to bring the marshmallows. I'm also excited to announce sports and recreation haven't taken a back seat to our other endeavors. Our new Kingdom-sponsored dodgeball team has already started with tryouts for the new season, and based on what I've seen so far, better start working on that trophy case. Look, there's a competitor now. Let's get his opinion. Well, I'm sure he's exhausted from today's practice. Better just let him sleep without breathing than disturb his focus. It's amazing what athletes will put themselves through these days. Not to be outdone by our athletic department, our top scientists have been working diligently and may have finally answered the age-old question. What would happen if you fed a mud crab cursed meat for a few weeks? Well, let me introduce you to Titan Claw, a mud crab that's over 500% bigger than his common counterpart, with strength enough to crush through a grown horse in one swift clamp of his claw. When asked how this will benefit the people of Stormhaven, the lead scientist said, and I quote, "You're not my real dad. You'll never understand me. Why won't you just let me live my life?" Before promptly stomping off and slamming his tent door. Amazing stuff. There has never been a better time to live in Stormhaven, or any Breton-controlled province than today, and I hope this has eased any tension you might have been feeling with current events. If anyone has further concerns or a desire to question the King's decision-making, Please feel free to stop by the castle, day or night, and we'll be glad to arrange a private tour and demonstration of the new guillotine for you. Moving forward, I hope you'll join me in thanking our king for his tireless dedication to our great kingdom.